Hello there, and welcome back to my channel. So it is officially fall, so I have my pumpkin and my candles back there. I also have a ghost face. He's a new addition to my collection. I'll get around to him in my screen board game soon. But today I'm going to be going over the Netflix film The Babysitter because the sequel just came out and I'm very interested in that. I remember when this came out a couple years back and I had started it with my roommates and then I had gotten sidetracked and had to do something and I only got like 20 minutes into it. So I finally watched it and finished it and I really loved it. It's a great horror comedy and Samara Weaving is a powerhouse and I really loved it. It's about a kid who stays up after his bedtime to find that his babysitter is part of a satanic cult whenever he thought that he was going to be seeing her having an orgy. So with all of that being said, I'm ready to jump right into this review. So let's get into The Babysitter. So I really love the editing style of this and the quality of the picture and just the overall feel and the story building. They spend a really long time setting up what their relationship is and who this girl is to this boy and what Cole's relationship is with school and the people around him and his parents and his life. What he expects and wants out of things and people and how he obviously doesn't get that. It's a story about growth and facing your fears and courage and standing up. But it also is in the horror genre, so you know that it has lots of fun chase scenes, scares, and violence, and blood and guts, and horror. And I really love Bella Thorne in this. I'm a really big stan of her. Anything that she's in, I'll pretty much love if she's in it. So I really had fun having her play this character because she's so good at playing those kinds of things, and she just is so great at her job. I loved having her in this. I also love the girl that was in Pitch Perfect that's in this now. Just this whole cast was really, really great, especially, like I said, Samara Weaving. She was pretty much the highlight of this movie. Super glad that everybody's back for the sequel, and I'm ready to experience that surprise and the next chapter in Cole's life. So we spend all of the time world building, teaming up with the babysitter and the kid about what's their favorite sci-fi movies and intergalactic teams and stuff, and the camping out and the movies and the dancing and the fun, and it just really looks like it's like a really good, fun film right up until the point where it gets weird about the kissing scene and he stays up late past his bedtime and he doesn't take the shot. What was interesting about this is how they sometimes stop the movie sometimes and it'll be like pocket knife, hell yeah, or I thought that was a really good, kind of reminded me of like an 80s style like filming, and I just also love some of the camera shots that they were able to pull off in this. They follow around really well with some things. They also have a cam on him and where the background moves a lot but he stays the same. They've also done some point of view shots in this movie and I really, really appreciated that. We get to the amazing part that's so fun wherever she sacrifices Samuel and she jabs him in the head with both of the knives. Fun fact, I love that those knives are the Scream knives, the buck knives. A buck 120. It's just a nice little nod that I enjoy. I love how bloody it is. I love that they do not hold back. I love the jokes and the gags in this one about how like the blood spewing on the guys is really funny. And then everything starts to get so intense and I just love how they're trying to wrap up everything. Samara Weaving's deliverance of her lines when she's like, cookie. I don't know, she's just so seductive and beautiful. And whenever shit goes down, you really do believe that she's terrifying and that she's capable of this and she holds her own. Like, she really does. So Cole calls the cops and they show up and that is another bloody mess of a scene, and I love how all of the people that are there, especially that shirtless guy, it's so funny. He's like, why is he shirtless? I'm like, that's your first question? Just a lot of the small humor was really fun for me. And having all of the scenes where like they kill the cops and then it shoots Bella Thorne in the tit and she's like, oh my god! Who does that? Oh my, it really was the best. And I just love how like her character was so like, how she just raged out. And how she was like, oh, it's so cute, you're still cutting the ropes. I don't know, I guess the whole vibe of the movie was just something that worked for me. I guess it works for some people and it doesn't for others. So yeah, speaking of Bella Thorne, one of the scenes I really, really love is actually whenever she's supposedly dead and he's like trying to figure that out and he sneaks into the kitchen and she starts attacking him. And I literally thought it was so funny whenever he's like, we don't have to do this and maybe he's like trying to plead with her and she's like, yeah, maybe we really can just forget this all. And he gets this look on his face. And she's like, do you think I give a fuck about anything you're saying right now? And then she tries to attack him, and it's so fun. I love the craziness of her and how relentless she is, and it's such a good scene of, it was just ridiculous and hilarious, and how he's throwing cups at her, and man, I did not expect her getting shot. And that's what I'm talking about whenever I say that B was a powerhouse. Like, that part when I say that she holds her own and has this final chase scene, it's amazing. And watching the two kids hide from her, oh my god, literally, she's the best part of this movie. I don't even know how to explain that. I had a really big thrilling scene throughout the crawl space because the spiders and small spaces and just the whole almost getting caught and everything, and then having the explosion happen. I mean, they show you the growth of how he's kind of scared and terrified as this is first happening and going down, but as they're coming after him, they keep all dying and he keeps accidentally killing them from self-defense and stuff. And as each death that happens, as each attacker comes at him, he gets a little bit better, he gets a little stronger. He's a little more okay with sticking up for himself. And then that makes it fun by the ending chase scene whenever all of them are dead and the guy's been neck broken in the tree. She's coming after him now. B, she is coming after him with all of that she's got, you know. The satanic ritual went to shit. She needs the book, she needs the blood and the kid. She's worried about having to go to start up another place, and he runs this car through his house, and I never saw it coming. I literally didn't. I didn't know what he was gonna do with that. I didn't know how he was gonna stop her. And whenever we're getting the whole scene where she's spilling all of the details, I love scenes like that. I love getting the exposition. I love knowing what's behind someone. I love knowing their motives and their morals. It was just all around so good. We get to the part wherever the car is on her and she's dying. And I teared up. I am emotionally invested in characters. It doesn't take a lot for me to get wrapped up into something, and I'm invested, and I liked how they established such a good relationship and the emotional thing and like what he had meant to her. A lot of the times when we're watching horror movies, we can't wait for the kills, we can't wait for things like that, and we forget about the emotional weight that those characters are having in that world, you know. That's why a lot of times when I watch Scream, you know, it's so much fun because it's my favorite franchise, but I was watching it the other day and one of the actresses was screaming so well that I kind of teared up because it took me to my past, you know, like hearing adults yelling and stuff, and it was just so good that it really hit me, bro. Like, oh, murder. I mean, I know murder's not good, we all know that, but when you go into a horror movie, we're expecting it, we're waiting for it, as is opposed where you're just watching a movie and if someone gets violently killed out of nowhere, it's more shocking. You're like, I didn't expect that. Anyway, so this moment where he's passing with her is really, it's emotional for me because of not only just how it was established in the film of their relationship, but on top of how well of the performance it was. It's that moment, that just being with someone when you know they're gonna die and she knows she's dying, and it's like it's final moments and final words, and it's like, you know, I'm always so caught up into that theory, you know, because there's so many people that I wish I would have known what their last words are or could have gotten to be there with them, or I can't even imagine how sad it would be to watch someone you love disappear right in front of your eyes, because it's essentially what dying is, you know, their body's there anymore and they just fade. Something goes away. You can tell that the life just leaves. And so I got really emotional at that part. And watching him triumph was really fun. And then if you watch for the post-credits scene, you'll see the firefighter go in there and try to like clean up the wreckage and stuff, and he notices that the body is gone. And as he gasps, you know, she turns around and attacks him. Typical cliffhanger scene. But yeah, all in all, I thought it was such a fun film, and I can't wait to watch the sequel. I'm so excited to know what happens next. I love the thought process about how they get to be brought back. I can't wait to talk about that whenever I watch it and go over it. All in all, like I said, this was a really good movie for me. I thought that the directing was well. I thought that the acting was really good. There weren't any parts that kind of took me out of it. There weren't really any parts that were too cheesy for me. I really enjoyed the gore, and if I had to give this movie a rating, I don't always do this in my reviews, but I guess if I had to give this a movie a rating, I would give it like an 8 or 9 out of 10. I mean, it was literally just right there. I do plan on watching it again, and I do plan on watching the sequel, and probably watching that again. And yeah, so let me know what your thoughts are. You know, what did you think? Did you watch this when it first came out, or has the announcement of the sequel and the release of that kind of inspired you to go back like it did for me? And if you were waiting, like, what was your anticipation? What were you expecting out of the next movie? Were you even expecting one? And just kind of let me know what your thoughts are, because it's always fun to talk about things like that. So yeah, stick around for whenever I post something new, and check out some of my other videos, because I've done a bunch of different genres and I plan to do a bunch more. Yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.